So, I wanted to comment on the matter of, continue my comment actually, because I did make a comment on this earlier on this week, on the matter of what is happening in the health sector.
Yeah, boy.
And I thought it important for me to put on record my own experience in the health sector. And especially after I saw a video that was posted on social media by the minister, I thought I would record my reaction, because I actually had some of those thoughts in the video that he shared before I saw the video.
What do you do for work?
So I'm the Minister of Health and Wellness in Jamaica.
Do you think that Jamaica has a good healthcare system?
I think we have a better healthcare system than we had 10 years ago when we took office.
What's the difference?
More hospital beds, more diagnostic equipment, more drugs being given to persons who are ill free of cost, more doctors and nurses, more legislation or policy around restriction of sugary drink. But let me stress, it's never perfect and it never really reaches the target that you want, because the challenges evolve every single day.
So if there's one thing that you want to see change now as the health minister, what would you want it to be?
I think it would be really good if every citizen understood that they have a role to protect their own health. Secondly though, the nurses and doctors showing more empathy, because over time, if you're in the business long enough, you get a little cold to illness, and sometimes you miss the importance of showing better care. Even as you administer clinical care, the behavioral response to people is also very important. If a baby falls off a bed, it's a crisis. If you take it from the perspective of someone who is suffering or having a relative who is suffering, it's always a crisis. And everybody expects an immediate response and an immediate remedy. It's always not possible to do that. More often than not, it's not. But you try. So my ideal world is to see each of us taking a decision that we're going to live in a way that protects us, exercise, rest, drink more water than sugary drink, that sort of thing. And also those who work in the system recognizing that it's not good enough to just be an excellent clinician. It's also important to administer care with empathy, because empathy helps to overcome the kind of misery index that those who are suffering experience.
Now welcome back to another Exclusive for Life. Now blessing goes out to all my viewers and all my subbies, all my well-wishers. Like, share and also subscribe if you haven't done so already. Coming up in today's topic and review.
Jamaican laws some people don't know.
And I'll tell you first about the reasons when the police should not seize the vehicles, because they don't have the lawful authority to do so. If you don't have a driver's license in your possession, the police should not seize the vehicle. They can prosecute you under the Road Traffic Act. Now, there's a difference between not having a driver's license and not having your driver's license in your possession. If a person was never issued with a driver's license, that person clearly should not be driving a motor vehicle. What the police will do in those circumstances is that, for one, the person will be prosecuted. If they find out that the owner of the vehicle allowed the individual without a driver's license to use the vehicle, that person, the owner, can be prosecuted as well. Otherwise, the police will take possession of the motor vehicle, because they will not allow a continuation of the offense. They will take possession of the motor vehicle and will get someone who has a driver's license or the owner to come and claim that vehicle. We don't seize a motor vehicle for no insurance coverage. The person will be prosecuted, but it is not a seizable offense. No registration of fitness is not a seizable offense. The police can lawfully seize your vehicle if the vehicle is not licensed. There is a provision in law that is referred to as the month of grace. So 1 month after your registration expires, if you're within that 1 month period, the police should not seize the vehicle. Your vehicle can be seized lawfully if you don't have a registration plate affixed. So you're driving around with no registration plate, it can be seized. Or if the registration plate is so obscure that you can't see what's on it, your vehicle can be seized.
Now much blessing and blessing my viewers and my subscribers. Coming up in today's discussion, these are the kind of people I'm telling you about. Here we have a lady with doctorate upon her name. Yeah, doctorate. Her name is Dr. Nadeen Spencer. Hear that? Hear her title. Dr. Nadeen Spencer. And she holds an important position within the University of the West Indies. Now recently we saw where Chris Tufton, the health minister, went to the United States, and when he was asked the question about the hospital of Jamaica, him said everything nice. The only problem is that the administration, the people them where run the hospital of Jamaica is the problem. Now, bear in mind, he's the health minister, the one that should be overseeing these workers within the health ministry. However, this lady heard him make this speech against the administration of the hospital and take it upon herself, thinking that she's intelligent and she's all smart and like her lying or her opinion matters to the citizens of Jamaica who goes to these hospitals every day and have to witness everything she's about to say, what happened to her and also her mother. Now I want you to listen very careful and intensively to this lady, and I'm gonna point out to you her deception.
And my mother, who died at 86, didn't die from any of the, she had a stroke. She didn't die from having a stroke. She died because she got an infection in the hospital. And one of the things I remember about my mother being in the hospital was just some of how ridiculous the system was. I remember there was a security guard who at one point was refusing to let me into the hospital because he thought my dress was too short. My mother was on the bed dying and the security guard was telling me, you need to change your dress.
More legislation or policy around restriction of...
Just the level of stupidity around some of the policies in this country sometimes don't make no sense. Anyway, I remember the last day I saw my mother, when I walked onto the ward at Cornwall Regional, there was this constant stream of dirty water because by now they had converted the nurses' residence into a ward. Stream of dirty water just running, and we had to step over it to go visit our mother. And I kept saying to myself, how is this healthy? How does this environment promote healing? Anyway, of course, as I said before, my mother didn't make it, and she died of sepsis, an infection she picked up in the hospital.
More diagnostic equipment.
She couldn't have survived it. She had a stroke. Previously, she'd had heart failure, and the hospital, they let her out without medication. It was when we took her to her doctor, he said, so where's the prescription? They didn't give her any medication.
More drugs being given to persons who are ill free of cost.
No, they didn't. She was discharged from the hospital having gone through a bout of heart failure without medication, without a prescription.
More drugs being given to persons who are ill free of cost.
No, they didn't. Just last year, I was at the university hospital. I had a bad cough and it just wouldn't go away, and I was in A&E for a day, and I discharged myself the next morning. There was no bathroom for me to use. And I was floored. A whole heap of people in the A&E, and one cubicle could be used, and the one directly in the A&E at University Hospital was locked off. I went back subsequently and spoke to the CEO, whoever the head of the hospital was, and told him what my experience was, asked for an appointment, went to speak to him, told him what my appointment was, and the same bathroom was still closed out, and the CEO and whoever it was that managed it had no idea that there were no bathroom facilities available for patients at the A&E, that there was one cubicle. Yeah, so I agree with the minister.
What?
I agree with the minister.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This whole business of how hospitals are managed and holding the administrators accountable is an important part of managing the crisis in our health sector. I agree that sometimes the resources are there.
It's me rascal, me tell you wickedness can't done.
And it is the people who are managing or not managing. That is the problem.
Now, my viewers and subscribers, when I think of the irony of this lady out here defending Christopher Tufton, considering that back in 2022, her mom died in the hospital of sepsis, which she contracted in the hospital. And this lady lose her mom, and she never take any accountability on the hospital. Did she sue the hospital? Did she make it public that her mom contracted this cypress or whatever it is that take her mom life? Did she seek any accountability for the loss of her mom from the administration? Now I'm gonna drag on a memory back to 2022. I'm gonna read from an article that is out there. So it's nothing that I make up. If you want, just punch it in on the internet. The 2022 bacterial outbreak where 12 to 13 baby died. In late 2022, a major political and public scandal broke out when it was revealed that a bacterial outbreak killed 12 to 13 newborns at the same Victoria Jubilee Hospital facility. The primary outrage stemmed from an information embargo. The Minister of Health withheld news of the deaths from the public for months. You hear that? Christopher Tufton withheld this information from the public for months, leading the opposition PNP party to stage demonstration demanding Tufton immediate resignation. Now this lady, back them time when that happened and them a call for Christopher Tufton resignation, she never come out and say all what she say now. And if you think that's bad, I'm going to take you back to last year, 2025, at the same Victoria Jubilee Hospital, where the same Health Minister and Wellness Christopher Tufton still didn't take no accountability for a 24 baby that died within 24 days. That means that was one a day. The article states the Victoria Jubilee crisis, 24 baby died. In mid-2025, a public discourse erupted over the tragic death of 24 babies within a 24-day span at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital in Kingston. The cause, Dr. Tufton stated that these deaths were primarily linked to complication from premature birth rather than systematic bacterial outbreak. But then, where since then until now has there been any accountability for all these loss of life of the children, newborn? Almost 40 baby. Cause 13 and 24 are almost 40. Cause closer to 40 than 30. And where is any accountability? Now you come and blame the administration. The backlash and the incident sparks every criticism regarding hospital standards, accountability, and the service shortage of special neonatal nurses across Jamaica public health sector. While the exact figure 28 may be slightly misremembering of a combination of different statistics, it closely aligned with two major healthcare controversies that have led to intense public scrutiny and call for the minister resignation. So this ain't nothing new with this health minister. And when him can have the audacity to blame the administration and take no responsibility, none at all, for anything what goes on within the healthcare as the head of the healthcare, it bothers me. Because it's sure that from there is no accountability, nothing gonna change. And with lady like you coming up here and talking all this crap, before you let this man know, listen, enough is enough. It's time for accountability.
My guests this evening are Dr. JLP, the new Principal Director of the National Integrity Action NIA, and the Executive Director of the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, JAM, Jeanette Calder. Good evening.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us.
Now, this is the latest scandal from the University of the West Indies. Yeah, the latest scandal where we see the Auditor General. She came out and she's speaking about all the corruption of missing money from the healthcare. It's hurtful. Listen for yourself and wanna tell me where is any accountability? What this lady talking about? If you're not gonna hold Christopher Tufton accountable as the health and wellness minister, we will not get no accountability. So we can sit here and talk and go on cribs and corners while the corruption just continue goes on and the citizens them continue to suffer. Wanna listen?
Well, the audit focused on the University Hospital of the West Indies, as we all know, and it covered the period from the start of the fiscal year in 2019 to the end of the fiscal year in March 2025. So let's pull out one of the key findings. The Auditor General found that 51 contracts valuing $521 million that the University Hospital could not provide any procurement documentation. Let's start with you, Ms. Calder. Why is that problematic?
First and foremost, it's a breach of a law. Those laws have been put in place by our parliamentarians, our elected representatives, for the very purpose of recognizing and acknowledging the sacrifice that Jamaicans make in paying taxes so that we can have good public services and better quality of life. So when you have public officials who you have entrusted and they are abusing the authority that they have, but also the opportunity to spend in a way that can benefit you, and they do it with a disregard for the laws that are there to actually protect your assets and to help you to deliver the best services possible, then there's just a lot of concerns. There's a breakdown of trust. And the bottom line is it just affects the quality of our lives. And Andrew, let me be clear. We've talked about this from time to time. This kind of discussion is not new for me, but it is really particularly hurtful. And I had a difficult day reading the report, particularly because it was the Ministry of Health and Wellness. So when we have these kind of reports coming in about any entity, it's bad. But when it is about a ministry or an entity rather that is taking care of the most vulnerable, then it becomes a little bit more heartbreaking. It's more than just the money.
Okay. We want a better Jamaica. We want a better health service. And that we are saying no, we no business where you want to come say no. Cause you talk about accountability. Whereas any accountability, your mama dead. Your mother. Have you take any accountability? Do not come back on the internet, woman. Come do this. Do not, please. It's very disturbing what you're doing. Especially when we consider that you have the title of doctorate. No wonder these students are standing up because they are the future generation of Jamaica. You are old now. They are young. And they see what you doing to their future. And they are calling for your resignation. Please do them the honor and just resign. You have done enough damage. And if you continue to hang on, the disrespect and the backlash and everything only gonna get worse. And then you're gonna blame the people them. But quite frankly, we tired of Uno. We tired of Uno. Uno are a disgrace to a little nation of Jamaica. Look what I do to the health care. And then you come here and diss the people them we're out of work hard, we're out of demonstrate, and I say Mr. Government, we don't even have equipment to do our job. I remember I did a broadcast where this lady went into the hospital to have her baby for the first time. She was around 35 years old. So you know she's like a mule. People take say she can't breathe because her age come off of the almanac and she never have no picnic. And God bless this woman with her first picnic. And Jesus Christ. Everything what you say, woman, the treatment that young lady get inside the hospital was a combination of a lot of things. The nurse wasn't patient enough, they weren't professional. And how can a health minister Christopher Tufton employ them people here for come to health care to people? So him have to get responsible, him have to get blame. Then him there tell lie about there's equipment, this and that. There wasn't not even a scissors, a cesarean scissors to operate on this lady so she could have had her baby. The lady lost her baby. It's one of the most hurtfulest thing I've ever seen. I said the lady ball when I think about everything what the lady experienced in the hospital. And you sit there, lady, you must have seen, and you never come out and talk about it, but you jump out and see this waste man Christopher Tufton on the internet. I talk crap, and you say you agree with that, and you had that in your thought even before he made that announcement. Oh, what kind of woman you are? I don't understand, Una brother. That's why me couldn't do with certain woman, you know, because if me there with a woman like this, I see she's a fool. Because your mother dead in the hospital because of the same reason. You say she contracted sepsis from the hospital. And where is the accountability? And then you come talk about accountability. Yeah, yeah, my woman. Back up.
Lady must go in the morning. Lady must go at noon. Lady must go in the evening.
What has Christopher Tufton has been doing all these years to make sure that these persons were under his watch perform well? Oh, you gonna blame the nurse? Ain't time the nurse don't have the equipment. The nurse I go give birth. The nurse I go help a woman to give birth, and they want to do a cesarean, and they don't even have a scissors in the hospital to do the operation. So how is it we have a health minister? If the health minister now take accountability, where accountability can come from? You see, we as the people who are suffering because of this administration, and we are ball out, so we want accountability. I'm the man that should stand up and give accountability for what's going on in the health sector, because you are the head. Refuse to take accountability for anything in my point on to the people them we employ. It's your job to say, you me employ you, and you are do this and you are do that over the years. Them now may I sack you and get someone new to do the job in the manner that you know it should be done. So if Christopher Tufton is there and not doing that, he has to be held accountable, and right now he need to resign. You see where the nurse association comes out and she said he need to apologize.
I think we have a better healthcare system than we had 10 years ago when we took office.
What's the difference?
More hospital beds, more doctors and nurses, more diagnostic equipment, more drugs being given to persons who are ill free of cost.
It is disheartening to realize that the minister is unable to identify the inhumane conditions in which the doctors must function, the dissatisfaction among the interns, and what the doctors have to present to this country as healthcare. The JMDA would appreciate it if the Honorable Minister would change his statement, apologize to the interns, and state accurately the facts as they are, so that the nation will not be misled in this matter.
More hospital beds, more diagnostic equipment, more drugs being given, more doctors and nurses.
So I agree with what the minister says. You know, it's not always a matter of resources. It's a matter of the management of the service and the facilities, and we are paying people to do that, and we must demand good service.
For this misleading information where he might try stem to the public when the public can see there is no bed in the hospital. People go to hospital for hours and hours, days, months, and don't all know them don't get a bed. And then you're gonna blame the administration, woman. It sweet me. It pleases me to see the young people who are the future of Jamaica, cause you all and you continue to help oppress the young people them of Jamaica, and them rise up against you. And you know now you got continue to see the young people them rise up against you now. And Minister Wheatley, you need to step down, because the young people them are rise up, and we are going to bring the demonstration, because Uni is not above the law. Yeah? Uni is not above the law.
Who are managing or not managing, that is the problem. I have found or I found that my experience at University Hospital was one where medically I was treated well. The doctors were excellent. The nurses needed work, to be honest. They never really have no manners. And the administrators were absolutely hellish. Administrators were absolutely hellish. So I agree with what the minister says.
I think we have a better healthcare system than we had 10 years ago when we took office.
What's the difference?
More hospital beds, more doctors and nurses, more diagnostic equipment, more drugs being given to persons who are ill free of cost.
It is disheartening to realize that the minister is unable to identify the inhumane conditions in which the doctors must function, the dissatisfaction among the interns, and what the doctors have to present to this country as healthcare. The JMDA would appreciate it if the Honorable Minister would change his statement, apologize to the interns, and state accurately the facts as they are, so that the nation will not be misled in this matter.
More hospital beds, more diagnostic equipment, more drugs being given, more doctors and nurses.
So I agree with what the minister says. You know, it's not always a matter of resources. It's a matter of the management of the service and the facilities. And we are paying people to do that, and we must demand good service.
Now I know her mom is turning in her grave anytime she see her daughter sit here and defending Christopher Tufton, the health minister that actually responsible for all the administration that this woman, Nadeen Spencer, is claiming was the fault of her mom to catch sepsis inside the hospital and lose her life. She also goes as far as to say her mom suffered several heart attacks and the hospital released her mom without any medication. Now bear in mind, she is a part of the University of the West Indies, yeah? The hospital, and this happened to her mom, and she have witnessed years and years people going to the hospital complaining about the condition and everything, and she didn't came out and say, well, you know what I mean, this is the condition of the hospital. But as soon as Christopher Tufton came out and says that is the administration, she come out, come shot herself in the foot because she have defend Christopher Tufton and I blame the administration. So how she shot herself in the foot is that the administration rise up against her and calling for her resignation. This is just extraordinary.
Must go in the evening, prepare to meet your doom. Lady must go in the morning, lady must go at noon, lady must go in the evening, prepare to meet your doom. Lady must go in the evening.
Alright, my viewers and my subscribers, you have heard for yourself, you know, this lady saying that we are paying administration for this service and we must demand accountability. Well, any person where them knows big, you know say them is a liar. And the more you sit there and tell lie on the administration, is the more your bloody nose a grow big, is the more your big nose a get bigger. Now we are demanding your resignation. We are demanding that you step down immediately, as these students are demanding of you, since you try to blame them for what happening in the hospital. Them not even get appear your health minister Christopher Tufton is not aware of what's going on inside the hospital. That's why he can go out and make these false statement, these false narrative that he's trying to put out to the public. When you just sit there and you admit to the public that the hospital is in a state that all your mama they deny it, and you still not find problem with the administration, with the health minister that are fully responsible for this administration. You only find problem with the administration when you is a part of the administration. So you need to go now. And we are demand that you go. We don't want to see your big nose around here anymore. Anybody with big nose, we are get rid of them. Your Holness must be family. Cause you lie and have a very deceptive mind and a very big nose. This is why the student of the University of the West Indies want you out. You understand? So have some pride, yeah? And exit, because for a doctor, you ain't got no integrity, brethren. You ain't got nothing to you. Nothing at all. Your mama shame you. Because not even your mama you show a little respect. Your mama pass and gone because of the hands of these people. And here you come. A player hypocrite. You are a disgrace. Come down. Now, here we see the Prime Minister a go round. I use taxpayers' money. I build house. Same I give to vulnerable people. That's why it's a bloody crime to be poor. Cause look how the Prime Minister take the make with the people them.
Is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
A home is not a billboard. And this practice of the government of dehumanizing individuals by placking their homes is just not right. So today I am condemning this practice of affixing permanent plaques bearing the Prime Minister's name to houses built under the new Hope social housing program. Honestly, this dehumanizing act that trades the dignity of poor Jamaicans for political promotion is just really wrong. Every Jamaican deserves a safe roof over their head, yes, but no Jamaican should have to pay for that roof with their privacy and dignity. A home is a place of refuge, pride, and peace. It is not and should never be a billboard. Yet that is exactly what this government has turned these homes into. A permanent advertisement announcing that the people inside were once in need. What a shame. When you put one person's name on a house that is actually paid for by all of us, you send a dangerous message. You tell struggling families that they should be personally grateful to an individual instead of being assured of their right as citizens. Worse, you mark them. You expose vulnerable mothers, children, and elders to stigma and public scrutiny for the rest of their lives. That is not social protection. This is branding, political branding.
Visit our website at pnp.org.jm or check us out on Facebook at Jamaica PNP.
Because the people them chew them NHT. So I'm like, yeah, dip in your pocket and buy the people them house. But you want put up your stamp of approval on the people them house. The people them just mark it out. You are a disgrace. Nobody no want living in a house where every day them look upon them wall. Them see your name in a them face. It makes them feel worthless. For no say, you have to put your plaque in a them yard for show ownership. So anybody coming at them yard, them say, oh, the Prime Minister gave a little house here. When the Prime Minister don't give you fuck all, him not give you nothing. Him not go in and pocket and take out the money and give nobody no house. All of the house them where you see my go around and I give and I stamp him name of approval upon it. is taxpayers' money. Build them also for the people them, not what list 28 money. Him woman, look what she do. Look at this. Any parents that take that appear where she go put fear face upon them. Only if you take it and throw it back upon her and say you don't want it, go away. No, because you know what I mean, you help somebody, you have to treat them with such disrespect. Who you think you is? You forgot. Say I just recently, since you come in a power, you gain all this money. So come go on like you more than people here go on like you're smarty. I want to hear big foot, cause sit down man and don't try that with the people in Jamaica. You is a disgrace.
The following is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
We are deeply concerned by the recent utterances by the government seemingly suggesting that modular homes cannot be delivered to the people in Western Jamaica because of land tenure issues. This is not a new issue. We have been raising this concern for months. The government is simply not listening, has not listened, and is most uncaring. It is time for action. Modular homes are chattel. They can easily be affixed to any property. We can solve this problem by engaging the justices of the peace in each respective communities to confirm that the residents who are affected are indeed legitimate beneficiaries. Let's stop beating around the bush. It's time to deliver to the people. The hurricane season is upon us, and the longer we delay, the longer we take to deliver the homes, will leave our people exposed. Now is not the time for bureaucracy and red tape and for rigidity. We need to ensure that the people who are most exposed are protected and secured in the peak of another hurricane season.
Now, viewers and subscribers, the only reason why the Prime Minister taking so long to give these people these modular homes is because he wants these people to take the NIDS ID so he can identify who they are. And as long as the people them don't take the NIDS ID, he will continue delay giving them any kind of housing. Now, when you consider that these homes is planning on giving the people of Jamaica are modular home, meaning there are container homes. Now, I did a broadcast a few weeks ago where this individual lived in a modular container home, and he was a disabled man with no leg, so he was unable to even help himself and stuff like that. But however, he kept the modular home quite decent. But the lady that went there to help him, she said when she enter into the home, the heat coming from the home turn her face red. She said you could actually fly an egg inside the container, cause we know when the heat turn up at Jamaica, sometimes you can see the heat just rising. You literally can see the heat rising off the ground. So you can imagine someone living in a container modular home in Jamaica. Even the PNP government. I have a question upon this, because putting people in modular home without AC is just like a joke. That's just like a temporary solution. Uno should be pushing for, whereas the Prime Minister is planning to build the smart city where I'm gonna be building modern homes. The people of Jamaica, they deserve this. Him need for just clean up the whole of Jamaica and build up bare of these nice apartments. Met who can get mortgage, who can rent, pay them rent, and let the people them live decent. Modular home, listen up PNP and listen up JLP, cause no matter with that, you know. Give the people them something what makes sense. That me say. Now,
the following is a release from the People's National Party Media Unit.
The revelations at Wednesday's meeting of the Public Accounts Committee regarding the Support Jamaica website are deeply concerning and raise serious questions about governance, cybersecurity, data protection, and accountability. The committee learned that the platform created after Hurricane Melissa to provide relief information and facilitate donations is not owned by the government of Jamaica. By February 2026, approximately 1.4 billion had been donated through the platform. The committee was also informed that the private entity that developed the website retains ownership and has access to donor information. Even more concerning is that the committee learned that assurances previously published on the ODPEM website regarding data protection compliance, the appointment of a data protection officer, and privacy safeguards were not accurate. The Auditor General's report further indicated that information provided to the public regarding data privacy, access to donor information, and related safeguards could not be substantiated. This raises serious concerns about public trust. Jamaicans must be able to rely on official government platforms to provide accurate information and to ensure that their personal data and contributions are properly protected. The situation also raised a fundamental question. Why was a platform of such national importance and sensitivity not developed, owned, and managed by government-employed technology professionals from the outset? If the government does not have the internal capacity to design and secure a platform of this nature, that represents a significant gap that must be urgently addressed. I am therefore calling upon the government, the Office of the Prime Minister, ODPEM, and the ministry responsible for digital transformation to urgently resolve the outstanding issues relating to ownership, data protection, access controls, cybersecurity safeguards, and accountability. The Jamaican people deserve confidence that government digital platforms entrusted with their information and contributions are secure, transparent, and accountable.